Welcome to Ceol agus Craic, and today we have live music from our studio, and we have Mary-Aoife and Séamus Ong. Welcome, folks.
Thank you very much for having us.
So we're going to have flute and whistle music and pipes. Great combination. So Mary-Aoife and Séamus, would you like to warm us up with a set just to get started, and then we'll talk maybe.
Sounds like a plan. What do you think?
Yes,
yeah, absolutely. I think so. Yeah. So, what will we do? We'll start off with, we go for the first set anyway, which is just a couple of standard old jigs, the Batter and Wham and Morrison's anyway.
Oh, very good. Morrison's is a good jig.
You can't go wrong with that. No, just eases into it. So we'll let Séamus start off the pipes. That's the thing with the uilleann pipes. They always need a little bit of a squeak here or there just to get started.
Oh, I heard him tuning up. He's quite good. He's very competent on the pipes.
Right, we'll bash into it.
Lovely. Thank you very much. That was finishing with Morrison's. Now we have Mary-Aoife here and Séamus. Mary-Aoife and Séamus, you guys are from Palmerstown, was it your name?
We are, absolutely, yeah. We're brother and sister and we're from Palmerstown. And yeah, I suppose we're both very much into the traditional Irish music. Growing up, we wouldn't have had any interest in music growing up, whatsoever. And I think it was only when we were around 13, 14, somebody had just mentioned to us, would we ever consider maybe taking up an instrument for maybe like a social activity, just to get out there and meet a couple of people. We never thought we'd ever continue it. We just thought, do you know what, it might be a way to make a few new pals,
Yeah, and I suppose then we both started off playing the whistle. Mammy was like, "Oh, the tin whistle is cheap, you know, it's not too much of an investment." But from then anyway, we continued on anyway, and Mary-Aoife took up the flute after a couple of years, and then I heard the sound of the uilleann pipes, listening to, you know, groups like the Chieftains and the Bothy Band and all of that, and I just got mad into playing the pipes, and I headed into the Peabody uilleann on Henrietta Street and started getting lessons there, and then just kind of we really got into the music, you know, and
it was a big change from, you know, like Mam initially thinking €10 tin whistle each, happy days, and then, you know, pipes which cost a couple of, you know, thousand. It was a big change, you know, but yeah, it was a lot of busking involved to kind of save up for the instruments, and, you know, a lot of just kind of getting out there. But I suppose it was a passion which really just pulled us through, you know, which we never expected to have, you know, starting off.
Oh, that's brilliant. And you never came from a traditional family at all, so.
Well, I suppose Mam and Dad, they would be into Ceilidh dancing anyway, so kind of the door was half open, I suppose, but they're not musical at all. I think our great grandmother might have played a bit of the fiddle, piano, accordion, and so from there was music maybe going back, you know, a bit of trad, but we wouldn't have grown up with playing, you know, the Maggie in the Wood at home, you know, any of that, you know, like, so.
The funny thing is, you might have noticed with the second name, so our second name is actually Chinese, so our dad is half Irish, half Chinese Malaysian, so he, I suppose, would have grown up, you know, like over in Malaysia and everything, but our parents actually did meet at a Ceilidh, you know, so when he came over to Ireland, you know, because obviously his mother was Irish, he came back to Ireland to live, so he did have that interest in the Irish culture and everything, and, you know, they were big into Irish Ceilidh, you know, music and bits and pieces and the dancing, but I suppose, you know, they never expected in a few years' time their children would get into it and, you know, end up playing the music while they'll have dance, you know, they're dancing. So sometimes we have Ceilidhs in the house, you know, us playing and them and their friends dancing around the kitchen, you know.
And do you go to a regular session? Is there a regular session around you, or?
Yes, I suppose we kind of do various kind of sessions and kind of session gigs as well. So for the two of us, we would go to Ora's Cronin quite a bit. So often we would run the session there on the Saturday night, the two of us, and then also do other kind of gigs and bits and pieces. I run myself a session and gig in Sheehan's pub in just off Chatham Street with two Argentinian trad musicians, Alan and Melissa, but they so I suppose those would be the two regular spots, Ora's Cronin and Sheehan's, that we'd play in quite a bit, and then any other bits and pieces as well.
You know, Ora's Cronin was actually great for us starting off because they had a slow session every Thursday, so we would go to our classes there, so that's where we had our classes, and then, you know, after we'd run down to the slow session and, you know, get to slowly pick up some bits and pieces, and then after that, then I suppose we just got more and more invested. We did join up with Luke and Kiltus branch for a little bit, and they were really good to us. They really helped us along the way, but I suppose we just kind of spontaneous music opportunities just seemed to kind of arise, and we just kind of from there just ended up doing different things, you know, and going with the flow very much.
It's a great outlet though, because my friends are all musicians, and you just get so many places when you have an instrument in your hand. You get invited everywhere. Every party in the country, they want you, you know. So yeah, it's a great opening, all right. A great social life as well. So Mary-Aoife, you're playing, what flute is it? Is it a particular?
Yeah, so when I started off, maybe because when I said I wanted to play the flute, so we got a cheap enough flute to begin, and then I decided, right, maybe we'll look at something a little bit more sturdy to help me going. So it's a Rob Forbes flute, and I got it over in America. So it's actually made of polyester. So even though it looks like the wooden flute, it's actually made up of polyester. And I have to say, what I really like about this flute is the tone with it. So I always kind of thought, you know what, this is like a mid-range flute, you know, like and I'll start off with this, and eventually down the road I'll probably get something, you know, like a bit more fancier. But I actually haven't been able to depart from it yet, because, you know, there's something about the tone that I can't seem to get on other people's flutes. When I try, you know, I might meet a really good musician and I'll say, can I have the go of your flute? And I try, and I just can't seem to get the same tone. So I'm happy with this at the moment, and we'll see where it goes. The only thing it doesn't have is the keys. Maybe when I was younger and when I got the flute, I wasn't as ambitious, and I didn't think I'd ever need the keys. Now sometimes I think, oh, it would be nice to have them, but you can actually on the flute you can play half notes. So if you half cover, notes, it certainly does the job. So that's what I'm playing.
Yeah, the keys, I suppose, is the C natural, is it?
C natural, yeah. And sometimes, if you're playing, we would predominantly play trad, but sometimes people would like to do a kind of a funny key or something, and you're like, it's a bit challenging, So that's the story with the flute anyway.
All right. And Séamus, the pipes?
Yeah, so when I started off, I had I suppose like Mary, I got a set of pipes on loan from na Peaboy-Illan. It was a Jim Wenham set, I think. But now I managed to a lot of busking anyway. I got myself a set of Andreas Rogge pipes. So Andreas he's a maker from Germany, and yeah, he makes lovely sets. Particularly some of the flat sets would be lovely. So like I think Liam O'Flynn had a flat set off Andreas, and there's a lot of well-known players play his stuff anyway, but yes, I'll be getting a bass regulator off him in April anyway, so I'll be having to go a trip over to Germany anyway to get them all fitted anyway, but sure, it'll be well worth it anyway.
It's like going to the tailor for a suit, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And it's, as musicians know, of course, instruments are kind of tailor-made for you, really. As Mary-Aoife said there, that some instruments really you take to them. It's like a nice jacket. It fits you. It's comfortable, and you don't ever want to give it up. Kind of thing.
Absolutely. It's kind of a going with the flow process. But I think the course that Séamus did as well. You're able to make your own set of inland pipes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
you've done the course.
Yeah, I did a course out in Ballyfarmage, the Ceol course, and it's in conjunction with na Peaboy-Illan. But as part of that, I got to make a set of pipes. So I'm actually playing at the moment the bellows that I made. So it's a bit of a hybrid set at the moment anyway. But it was great to learn those skills anyway, and kind of see the engineering and manufacturing side behind the pipes anyway.
Yeah, I always see pipers, they need to be a bit handy with the hands as well, because there's so much tuning and twisting and tweaking on them, I even see some of the lads taking out their reeds, trying to alter them a little bit and all that.
Yeah, that's
you want a very good ear as well, of course, Oh,
absolutely, yeah. And it's eventually something, like the weeds and everything, that you go down that route anyway, trying to figure out. But sure, it's all good.
We have a message in here from Eilish, but she's hoping she'd love to hear the cooling, but I don't know whether he have the cooling on tap there at the moment, but maybe you'll go into a set of tunes there anyway while we're...
Yeah, we could absolutely go into a set of tunes. Yeah, we've I don't know, like we could leave the cooling until maybe another time. I played a bit myself, but No,
yes.
But, yeah, we will.
But you know it, or you're kind of still in learning.
Yes, we'll go for a set of tunes anyway.
Yeah, we'll think about which is you.
It's one thing when you're live on air. There's no room for mistakes.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I think we'll stick to the set list anyway. What we'll do is we'll do something slow as well. So we'll do maybe we'll do Shivjugshi more. We do the Flatbush.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We'll do Shivjugshi more. Yeah, so a nice slow tune or Carolyn piece.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's finishing with Tour de Love.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's it,
yes,
yeah.
very good, very good. Love it. Of course, you were listening to, I suppose, Liam Flynn playing that, the Planksty. Do you remember that Planksty?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I used to love the changeover when he went into Tour de Love from the
that's-
Raggle Taggle Gypsy.
Yeah, that's
Do you remember
it,
that
yeah.
key change was lovely?
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, we were actually just playing a bit of music last night with a singer, and he was Dennis and Murray, but he was singing the Waggle Taggle Gypsy.
All right.
And we were doing the instrumental and thinking about going into Tour de
yes.
Love. So it's a lovely.
Here,
really-
it is
yeah.
beautiful, yes. So you're listening to Radio Maria here, and you're listening to Mary-Aoife and Séamus Ong playing flute, pipes. And I think Mary-Aoife has the whistle as well with her. But if you want to contact us, you can text us or WhatsApp us on 089 467 2000. Or you might like to email us at radiomaria.ie. info@radiomaria.ie. I should have got that right now. I'm saying it often enough, but however. Or you can call us on 014 123 456. Steffi or Mary are below taking the phone calls, or Brenda maybe. And you might like to write to us, send us in a CD or anything to Radio Maria Ireland, St Anthony's Business Park, Ballymount Road, Dublin 22. So, all this pipes, you started at 14, you said, was it?
I was about 14, and I think Séamus, you were 12, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but that was when we started with the whistle. So I was about, I'd say, about 13, 14 when I started the pipes. Then
The pipe takes
yeah.
a few years. You don't
that-
learn the pipes overnight.
Yeah, that's
a
it, yeah.
tough instrument.
So, they say it's 7 years learning, 7 years mastering, and 7 years 7 years learning, 7 years practicing, 7 years mastering. But yeah, so I'm 21 now, so I'm past the first 7 years anyway. So
So you'll be
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
third gone.
all right. I was talking to Colin Broderick.
Oh, yeah,
a
Colin,
while
yeah.
back. Colin was playing one of Liam Flynn's pipes.
Absolutely.
He's
yeah.
from my country, down there in
that's
Carlo.
it, yeah,
so
Carlo, yeah.
yeah, lovely fella.
Yeah, he's a great
Yes.
musician. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's only the two in the family playing, is it?
Only
Yeah,
the
that's
two
the
of us,
two
yeah,
of us,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
just playing.
Yeah, just the two of us in the family, and the two of us play anyway. So
Yes. So the neighbours have free music as well, I'd say, have they?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's one of the big things we like to do in our house is like have sessions, and we would
Yes.
have, every year if we can usually have a charity session. Like one of the things we did a few years ago, we actually ended up going over to Ethiopia to do some charity work, and we wrote a few songs when we were over there, just based on what we've seen over there. So I think Séamus might play, or we might play one of our tunes we wrote a little bit later. But from that, then every year we have usually our annual Ethiopia trad session in our house, and we open the front door wide, and this year we had was 25 musicians all around our kitchen, and it's
right.
not a very big kitchen, so there's more musicians, and people were kind of trying to look in the windows. It was really like Ireland, back a good few years ago. It was a great experience. But we'd often have musicians, in our house, and playing all hours into the morning sometimes.
Yeah, I've got to a lot of sessions myself. And it wouldn't be good though if a couple of harp players turned up in a small kitchen though,
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
it, yeah,
We'd be very strategic on who we invite,
And that the fire doesn't want to be lighting if you're sitting near the fire with the pipes either.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There was we had two pipers there in the house the last day. Yeah, so there was we made sure that the fire was off anyway. We didn't.
Well, the music, it really takes to different places. Like, we'd be big into going to Milltown Malbay every year.
Brilliant, yes. Great. Willie Clancy.
Absolutely
it's
fantastic.
fabulous. Yeah,
It's great.
It's a musician's paradise, isn't it?
It really is, Well, you can see it's getting busier and busier. Like this year when we went down, we actually spent most of our time out in like the
Bellbridge Hotel,
in Spanish
and
Armada.
great sessions there.
The town is so busy. So you found a new session or new festival to go to, the Ennis Trad Festival.
Yeah, that's
in November. Yes, it's brilliant. Yes.
So that's kind of a slightly quieter one where you can still. It hasn't exploded quite yet. So
I've often gone down to it as well. And it's hard to get accommodation. I love it because the crowds are not there, but the musicians are all there.
Yeah,
I've often sat in with 6 or 7 great musicians around me, and I'd be probably only 2 or 3 listeners, and it's great, and you get fabulous time down there.
It's fantastic, So yeah, we'll often just journey with the instruments and see where we've ended up. But we've gone into.
So did you never entered competitions, say in the Flas or anything, or?
Yeah, I entered. You haven't, Mary. I entered a small bit. We didn't do a huge amount with Cultus. I suppose because it was kind of late starting off the pipes.
Yes.
I would have entered maybe between the age of maybe 15, 16,
Yes.
and then won a few prizes in Dublin anyway.
Yes.
And then into the Leinsters and a couple.
Yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking though to go out on a stage on your own and play in front of a silent audience. They all just, complete silence for you,
Yeah, it's kind of a different thing. I think a lot of our kind of like opportunities or different like I suppose maybe kind of fun experiences have kind of happened very spontaneously. From like we've had kind of some good experiences, in the last couple of years. Everything from playing like on St. Patrick's Day, on the main stage in Collins Park, very spontaneously, with the group we just pulled together from then, like. Be Séamus, you were playing in a film, North Circular there, which got longlisted for the Oscars, which was very cool. And we also met Johnny Depp there, back in November, and you were having a conversation about the pipes, and I was playing them with Grant Hanser and Imelda May, and he was the other Riptide Movement, on Christmas Eve. So sometimes we get these like random experiences, that kind of come together. And always involving the music. So it's just about saying yes, it happens.
It's a great way to socialise though. It gets you in places that
absolutely
opens doors for everybody that has any kind of gift in music or that.
It really does, yeah.
But the other thing about it is that what I know is people say, they're gifted with music, but you have to put in the graft as well, the hard work. You can have a gift, and if you don't practice it, it just doesn't work,
That's it, yeah. Like particularly like during the COVID pandemic now, there was no gigs happening, there was no chances to no sessions to go out to, and I suppose that's kind of for myself anyway where the grind was put in, because I was still only playing them about 3 years, so having that time there, it's a chance to kind of perfect kind of the music. And I suppose now with all the bits and pieces now, different gigs, you're kind of seeing the fruits of all that coming, and it's great to see, but you have to keep at it, keep practicing, I
think the thing we have which definitely helps is we play by ear, so I can't like read sheet music whatsoever, so playing by ear is a lot handier, because I suppose you can get into a session and you can say, okay, I figure out these are what the notes might be, or you can even just kind of accompany and just try and come up with some kind of ornamentation to accompany the pieces, so that's a bit of a help,
particularly you're great at playing along with singers and that, Mary-Aoife would be great at that, so you get her up on a stage with someone and just a bit of flute or whistle, and the background to a song, it adds a lot, but it all is done through listening through the ear. It's a great gift.
I presume none of you sing?
No, we don't sing, but we're actually, funny enough, Mary-Aoife, we were as looking to doing a small bit, but we were out practicing a bit of music last night with, again, our friend Dennis Murray, and he was trying to get Mary-Aoife to sing Raglan Road, but we'll probably when we come back anyway in a couple of weeks, I'd say she'll be now able to sing it.
It's the thing, you're kind of always singing around the house, with different things, but then sometimes you're I'm certainly very enthusiastic about kind of singing in songs, and sometimes the actual phrasing of the songs, or the tone, or the pitch, or they say maybe gets neglected, so
all right.
I won't
I think she's very good, actually. I think she's been a bit modest here.
All right, I will find out the next time.
The pressure's on anyway.
Yes. So what are we going to do for the next set now of yours?
Will we do maybe?
Do you have any piping tunes there you want to do?
Yeah, I could do a piping set, or I could do one of my own tunes.
Yeah, do you want to do one of your own tunes?
Yeah,
maybe?
so as we were saying, I'll do two tunes that I wrote. So the first one is called Johnny McDonald's Jig. So this was a tune that I wrote during the COVID pandemic, and it was about the Dublin goalkeeper. It was Johnny McDonald, and the reason I wrote about it was because he was very much he was kind of a figure that was kind of around the Bloody Sunday when the GAA were commemorating all of that. So I said I'd write a tune as part of all of that, and it was actually believe it or not, when I wrote it, I just thought he was an interesting figure. But after I wrote it, it turns out he was also an uilleann piper as well. So I didn't know that. So it was a nice tune. And then about 6 months later, I was playing with a friend of mine in the Phoenix Park, and we were playing a couple of tunes during the lockdown because there was nowhere else to play the music. And a man came over to us and said he was making a film about the North Circular Road, and we said, would you like to be in it? I'm thinking of getting the monument in the Phoenix Park at the start of the film. And we said, oh yeah, we'd love to do it. So that tune actually, we played and we ended up featuring in the film. And it got into lots of different film festivals. And the last thing was it got onto the long list for the Oscars anyway. So it was a good experience anyway. But I'll play this tune. It's Johnny McDonald's Jig anyway.
Because we have a few listeners here now. I think Tom Keane, he's from Swords. He listens all the time to Ceol agus Craic. I think he likes the old pipes as well. And a brother of mine likes the pipes as well, Alan. He's mad into the pipes as well. Big botty man kind of fan, But anyway, so okay, go ahead there, Séamus.
I'll go into a couple of pipe and wheels maybe after.
Beautiful, lovely, lovely. Ah, very good stuff. I really love them reels now.
The lovely
Real.
tunes, yeah.
I was thinking about Seamus Ennis there now, and of course there's so many great pipers. Who's your favourite piper now? They've just
Yeah, so there's a big kind of long list, I suppose,
All
as you
right.
say, but like definitely through various stages I was interested in lots of different pipers. You know, when I started off, the first piper I listened to was Killian Vallely, because I
right,
was
yes.
listening to Lunacy, and that's what kind of got me at the start. I a couple of tracks or tunes I was trying to learn in the whistle, I needed to look up on YouTube, and then I stumbled across Lunacy, and that's where I heard the pipes first. So, but I suppose that when you're looking at pipers that have really, let's say, influenced me, I like a lot of different piping styles. So I like the open kind of style, that but also the closed style as well. Like probably the first tune there that I was doing was kind of more the wild piping style that you hear Paddy Keenan doing, and like you know, all the great travelling pipers, which and that's lovely as well. But there's also, you know, it's lovely kind of like Liam O'Flynn, definitely. I think was someone that you just, when you listen to him, is just absolutely amazing. You know, yeah, no, I'd be a big fan of his. You know, so I suppose the open style, you know, I think, you know, there was definitely a stage as well that I was interested in John McSherry as well. You know,
right,
so there's that there as well, but then, you know, you have Liam O'Flynn as well, so
yeah.
just the lovely kind of pure kind of style of the pipes, and it's really amazing, you know.
Yeah. The pipes have really flourished. I mean, there's so many good pipers going around now, you know.
Absolutely,
young pipers, you know, really good.
Yeah,
I mean, the instruments, of course, are brilliant as well. They're very good instruments nowadays as well.
Yeah,
that
that's
they have.
it. Yeah, no, I'm sure I was doing a bit of work when I finished with finished college with na Peabody Illan, and it's great getting an insight working in there, kind of seeing who's all the young pipers coming in, and the amount of demand for young people starting off the pipes. Like there was a massive waiting list in there when I was working for youngsters to get a set of pipes on loan, you know.
Yes.
And it's just they're constantly ringing up looking for sets of pipes, you know, to start off, you know. And the set of pipes that are coming in are really good, you know. There's so many great makers as well, you know. It's really great, you know. You think back in the day when you had Leo Rowsome, who was the only full-time maker, and then you had other makers like Dan Dowd, you know, and Johnny Burke, who were kind of also there as well, you know, but it was scarce enough, but it's really flourishing.
And the amount of women playing pipes are unreal. Young girls now, I can't believe the amount of them that are playing. Do you know, you have a lot of good ones as well, like, you know, you have Sheila Friel, I suppose, and there's loads of them.
But even when you're teaching, isn't there's two blind students you've had?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there's also there's a few students in St. Joseph's School for the Blind. I think Joe Byrne is teaching them at the moment, the three of them, and lots of young girls as well that are just coming for lessons. It's really great seeing just such a diversity with everyone's playing pipes, you know.
Yeah, because they're not an easy instrument. I mean, they're a frustrating, complicated.
There's so much going on. I'm often amazed when I look down. There's two elbows going and the wrists, you know, tapping the regulators.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I'm even like having the headphones on as well. I'm kind of like, oh gosh, I've not been used to all these wires.
All right, don't mind the wires.
But, yeah, but sure, look, there's always there's lots of maintenance involved with them, you know. Yes. Even from the plumbing end of things, like getting the bellows kind of in, you know, and small little things like that, you know. It's it all adds up, you know.
It does. And the more parts you have, the more work you have.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Eilish has sent in Eileen from Cork has sent in a lovely message. Great show today. Wonderful to listen to the two guests playing live and music. They're both really gifted and playing gorgeous music. So that was from Eileen in Cork.
Thanks very much, Eileen.
Thanks very much, Eileen. Appreciate it. You know?
So I heard a little thing. The birds were telling. A little bird told me about you have a kind of a ministry on Carlo Acutis, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you'd like to tell us a little bit about that, just to...
Absolutely.
Yeah, do you want to go for this, Mary-Aoife?
Yeah. So actually, this story involves music. Believe it or not, we were in with the Legion of Mary there a couple of months back and playing in our traditional Irish music night, and two Capuchin friars walked in. They were from Rome and they were over for a month to learn some Irish or to learn English, but one of them really wanted to learn some Irish music, and when we seen them there we said, you know what, like, we play the bit of trad, you know, we'll definitely help teach you the tin whistle. So we swapped numbers, and unfortunately we knew they were only over for a month, but we lost the number and everything kind of faded away, so we were really disappointed. But we actually ended up meeting them on O'Connell Bridge a few weeks later, and just before they headed back. So we said, look, come on out to the house, we'll have a bit of a session. We got some classes going, and we were so fascinated by their story and how, you know, they've left everything, their really good jobs, you know, everything, to follow St. Francis and become, you know, Capuchins. We ended up looking up a bit about St. Francis, and there was cheap flights over to Assisi for St. Francis's feast day, which was on a couple of, you know, days. It was weeks time at that stage. So we said, you know what, let's just go for it. And we booked the flights and we went over, and we couldn't believe it. The brothers, who were actually based in Rome, were being transferred to Assisi the week we were going over. Oh. So they got master classes in the tin whistle when we were there. We actually have videos of us, you know, going around and in the friary over there, you know, like playing some trad. But when we were there, we learnt the story about Blessed Carlo Acutis, and we were really, really taken by his story. And we just kind of felt like, you know, Ireland, I suppose Carlo was someone of such joy. He always used to say, from whatever perspective you look at life, you know, life is always great. And he was a big believer in kind of saying to people, you know, look, everyone is born as an original, but so many people end up dying as photocopies. And I think that's really a case in Ireland today. There's so many of us young people just following the crowd, keeping up with the Joneses, or, you know, and we're kind of losing track of who we are and missing that joy in our life. So when we came back to Ireland, you know, obviously we'd finished college, and we decided, you know what, the great thing about our music is, why not prioritise our music as a source of income? Because, you know, it doesn't mean we're working 9-to-5 jobs. We can, you know, get enough gigs and sessions and stuff to pay the bills, and then use all the extra hours we have to work on spreading the message of Blessed Carlo Acutis, because he brings people back to their faith, you know, and back to, you know, back to kind of finding that peace and that joy that they might have been missing. So we're working, we've set up Carlo Acutis Youth Ireland. It's been commissioned by Monsignor Anthony and the Bishop of Assisi. So we've been kind of very much early days at the moment, but one of the things we would definitely love to do with the ministry is go around to different parishes and organise Ceolis, so Carlo Acutis Ceolis, because we know when we were growing up as teenagers, you know, there wasn't really much of a social outlet to do. It was kind of teenage discos were the big thing, and our parents were like, look, there's, you know, we want to get you doing something good, a bit more wholesome. So they used to organise teenage Ceolis, and they were such great crack, you know, like you'd be going to the Ceolis and the lads would come up and say, oh, you ask her to dance, oh no, you ask her, you know, and it was great crack. And you'd learn all the different dances, the waltz, the limerick, everything, and it was just wholesome, good crack. Right. So that's something we definitely would love to do, is to kind of, you know, do a few road trips around Ireland and, you know, bring the trad and play some tunes, you know.
That's it. And as well as that, you know, it's great because we're kind of really just trying to aim towards the youth of it, you know, and there's the main Carlo Acutis Ireland group run by Brenda, and they're kind of guiding us anyway with that there, you know. But we really just want to try and get the young people involved, so that, you know, there's a different way of looking at life, and sure, isn't it great, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So that please God, down the road we might be able to do a few, like, you know, going to a few schools booked into going and doing some presentations in schools, you know, and then we'll just, you know, we have our social media pages as well. So if there's anyone out there on Instagram or Facebook, we're at Carlo Acutis Youth Ireland, you know, give us a look, and we're always just throwing up a couple of inspirational quotes from Carlo, you know. So that's all on the side.
Yeah, no, and he's a great saint, because he will attract the youth, because he's young, he's good looking, intelligent. And, you know, I had a little child in my house, and he came in one day and he saw that I have a bookmark with Carlo Acutis on it, and he went over and picked it up, and he knew the name straight away, and he says,
Really?
"Isn't he so happy?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
wow, yeah,
and
that's exactly
you know, so yeah, it's great. So now, Aoife, we'll get back now. Maybe or Mary-Aoife, sorry, we have another Aoife here, you see. So, but are you going to play a tune or?
Would I do something? Maybe.
Yeah.
I think maybe do the Flatbush or something. Or another one is we said Luna. So if you wanted to do something, maybe from the Autumn Child or something, and go into something fast, and after maybe go into Nora's Pride or something. Or
Okay, yeah, we could do that.
and
Yeah,
Zito the Bubble Man to finish up.
yeah, sounds good.
Or
yeah.
would you like to leave them for the end?
Oh, yeah, we'll leave that Zito for the end. There.
Okay, perfect.
Trying to decide, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have a rousing finish, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right, so we'll do so this is a Lunas tune that kind of they call the Autumn Child. It kind of was one of the first tunes that I was listening to when I got into the track.
And
so.
I absolutely love it. It's like one of these that I kind of hear and I just said, you know what? So will I give it a bash?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely, lovely. I have a message in from Sabrina here, and she's enjoying the show. She says, great to hear the guys. Thomas, they might have heard of the fantastic blind musician. He plays the pipes, Dara.
Oh yes, yeah, I know him. Yeah, from Loud, I think it is. Is there a second name?
No, I didn't get that name because I know Dara that plays the pipes, and he's blind, and he comes into our session as well down in Carlo.
Ah, okay.
And he's a good old piper now, and he actually does he. I can't remember now. But he comes in with another friend. I'm trying to think of the man's name. But he's a very good piper, actually.
Yeah.
So I presume it's the same Dara, and I can't think of his last name. So
this guy you know is from Loud.
Let me think. There's a piper. Is it Dara? O'Eely, I think it is. Is that him? Well, hopefully might be the same one.
Maybe
anyway.
there's two Daras out there. You never know.
Well, Sabrina, maybe you text the last name, and we'll confirm who are we on the same hymn sheet here.
Yeah,
but
that's
anyway,
it. Yeah,
that's lovely. So Yeah, so you were influenced by, you like playing slow airs, Mary-Aoife, you do?
I really like playing slow airs. Probably because growing up, as I said, we both were big into the Irish music, but I've kind of been, a jack of all trades, where Séamus is more a master of one. Séamus is definitely like your big passion is the trad. My background is like event management, organising, and I like a lot of different things. I'm big into baking. I'm big into, everything and anything. It could be kind of like,
Yes.
walking, organising. I do a lot of kind of organising, technology, different things. So I suppose for me, the music was something that I really loved to do, but it was also on par with my arts and crafts and my baking and my, reading and writing and everything. So for me, I suppose I always knew I'd never sometimes be able to keep up with some of the really fast tunes. So I love the slow airs because it gives me that moment to kind of stop and slowly play each note that I'm playing, and to think about what I'm playing, and it gives that bit of breathing room, because often my life is just so go 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 go, that it works well. So I tend to do the slow airs quite a bit, and I enjoy them. I've been quite influenced by some of the more jazzier trad players. I'm a big fan of Mike McGoldrick, and also then Brian Finnegan as well. They both play the flute. They have some really amazing kind of bits and pieces they can do. It's a bit more jazzy and different, and I like that kind of stuff as well, because that's the thing with trad. It can touch into so many different genres, which is fantastic.
It's a very big range, all right.
Yeah.
Actually, Séamus, you're right. It is from Loud. Sabrina's after confirming it. O'Haley, is it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, I know of him. Yeah, he's a great piper. Yeah,
he's the same man actually, and he comes in, and actually, fair play to you, Sabrina. It's Nicky Healy. You know Nicky?
Oh yeah.
He sings. He's a very good singer actually. He won actually an award of a Tina G, I think some country singing competition a couple of years ago, because I remember watching it on television, because I know him. He comes in with his dog and all, and sits at the he's quite a good singer. He does his own interpretations of songs. He doesn't copy anyone else. I like that's what Mary-Aoife said a while ago. We can become what was the word you used? Carbon copies of other people. But it's nice to see someone comes in and puts their own bloss on something.
Absolutely.
It is great, and you can see that in the pipers as well. When you named all the different styles of piping, and
that's it.
Everyone has their own. That's the great thing about traditional music. It's not rigid. It's everyone has their own, can add to it.
Absolutely, and it's great because you could really just get creative with the instruments as well. There's a great thing about playing the hardcore trad sometimes, and then just other times just kind of like mixing different things in.
And that's what you're going doing, like the songs or different things like that. Like we both play as well with a choir, a youth choir there, but we bring the instruments as well and play just a bit to their songs and stuff like that. But having the trad learning by ear, you can blend in with that and make it a bit more of a Celtic kind of trad sound to it,
Yeah.
I remember being at a session years ago in Clancy's in Athy, and there was a great fiddle player there, Tom Ahern, Lord of Mercy on him. He was a fabulous character and a beautiful fiddle player. He played with the Bridge Kelly band, and I always remember he was playing a tune that came to his head, and there was another man in the session. There was a room, there was no bar in this room, and there was maybe 40 people in it, and this man asked me, he says, God, Tom, that's a beautiful jig, where'd you get that? So I haven't a clue. He says, it just came to me, I don't know where it was, I must have learnt at some stage. And someone said to him, I said, what key is in it? What key is it in, Tom? And Tom had no idea of music sheets, notes or anything, and he just looked up and he says, I haven't a clue. He says, it could be an Aston K for all I know, So but he heard a note, he'd know it instantly.
Yeah, wow.
He just, it didn't matter whether it was jazz, classical or anything, he just could play it instantly. He was a magnificent man, beautiful man. I had the privilege of sitting in many of these sessions. But anyway, gosh, we're running out of time, folks, but I better get cracking. We'll keep, have we got one or two sets left?
I think will we finish on one big set? You know what I mean?
Or we will like. How are we doing for time? Like we got.
Oh, well, we have about 7 minutes.
So we could get 2 sets in.
Yeah, we'll fit them in. Will we do some? I know you're saying the listeners like hornpipes.
Yeah, should
Oh
we
yes,
do,
yeah, for Eilish, especially. Yes.
brilliant.
We could do the Harvest Home anyway.
Yeah,
Oh, it'd be brilliant, brilliant, lovely, lovely.
We'll
Yes.
finish with something then.
Yes.
It's all you.
Beautiful. The Harvest Home. Everyone is dancing at home, particularly Eileen in Cork. She'll be dancing after that.
Oh, it's great to hear that there's listeners out there. It definitely makes us,
So that's a very popular, of course, hornpipe, you know, the Harvest Home.
It was actually one our granny used to know her mother playing. This is the granny who was over in Malaysia. She was the Irish woman who moved over to Malaysia when she met my granddad, but she always remembered her mother playing, you know, the Harvest Home, and she'll still mention it to this day. So the trad was there back somewhere, you know.
Oh yes, yes. And there's actually quite a lot of Asian people playing Irish music now.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah.
There's a great Ulan piper,
Falik Aru from Malaysia, and there's like, I think they have International Ulan Piping Day, which is a thing in November. And it's amazing seeing all the different pipers in Japan, you know, in Cuba as well.
Yes,
it's big over there in Argentina, you know. So, yeah, no, it is getting very popular globally as well, which is fantastic, you know.
And
great to see.
Believe it or not, you'd see pipes in any kind of music. I've seen it in rock bands, and you know, it has, you know, it's an amazing instrument.
It is amazing, like that's another Moving Hearts now. They were Davy Spillane, they had a bit of rock and all different things in there, you know.
Yeah, we knew a piper, and he was playing on Grafton Street, and some rock band came along to him and said, you know, like, oh, you love the sound of the pipes, wow, you know. And they actually ended up bringing him onto the stage that night in the Three Arena to play the pipes in there. I can't remember who the band was, but it was a rock band anyway, you know.
Yeah, they were a rock band. I know that this Paddy, he gave them a bit of attitude back. They were like, oh, we like this fella here or something. they brought him up on stage anyway.
That's great. Well, gosh, folks, it was great to have you in today. It was great to have live music, you know, because it makes a big difference. I'm normally playing a CD here or something, and you know, kind of talking about the tune and stuff, but it's nice to actually interact with musicians, and hopefully our listeners enjoyed the programme. So
thank you so much for having us.
Not at all, anytime. And when you make a CD, come in and launch it here, you know.
Absolutely. That'd be great, you know.
I know you're the type of people who will get involved in projects and stuff like that.
Definitely, I think we've already given the promise of singing next time, so I think there definitely will be a next time. We've given you our word.
Anyway.
Raglan Road will come out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's very good. So, Mary-Aoife and Séamus, thanks so much for coming in
Not
today.
at all.
And you know, if we get any more feedback, we'll pass it on to you, and you know. And I hope you do well in your Carlo Acutis mission, because I know that will be great. It'll be great.
Yeah.
And so thanks.
Please
And what
God.
you'll finish up now with a few tunes for us?
We'll finish
Yeah,
up. What would we
absolutely.
do?
Yeah. So I suppose you were saying you like some of the more modern
Jazzier
tunes. So
stuff.
we'll do a bit of both. I think we'll start off with a tune that we both really like, and it's a Scottish tune called Zito the Bubble Man, and then a tune called The Maids of Mount Cisco, which I'm sure everyone will know.
yes.
So
And we've a
Yes.
clock in front of us, so we're timing ourselves.
Yeah, okay.
Off you go there.
1, 2.